My name's Chad Lindeman. I am the owner of a fundraising company called Next Level Fundraising. Now, to try to explain this, number one, you're going to see Scoreboard Fundraising. That's what it's showing on the schedule for today. So let's put it this way. If you think of this in vehicle terms, you have General Motors. Underneath General Motors is Chevy and Buick, right? General Motors owns Chevy and Buick. My business partner and I are underneath the Scoreboard Fundraising business, okay? So underneath that is myself. I have Next Level Fundraising. Then my business partner, Jeremy, has what's called JP5, or he calls himself Scoreboard Fundraising, okay? But the way that we're gonna manage these fundraisers with esports is gonna be exactly the same, okay? Jeremy was gonna be here, couldn't make it today. He had a fundraiser over in Moorhead to take care of today, so. But if there's any questions while I'm talking here, please let me know, and I'll just stop my presentation and talk to you guys here. A lot of information, I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. But number one, the reason I started my fundraising company 2 years ago is I have 3 kids, they're super involved in sports, and they were doing all sorts of fundraisers, right? You guys are familiar with that. And we were doing a lot of the same stuff. It was product-based, right? All the time. Pizza, cookie dough, popcorn, whatever. Now, I have those same products too. My company offers the same thing. However, I always thought there's got to be an easier way to do this and to be able to infuse technology into the thing. And we figured it out, and it's called a Power Out. It's a texting and calling platform where the students are reaching out to people asking for donations in case to E-Team Sports. Okay? Highly successful as far as the amount of revenue that it generates. It blows the product out of the water. Now I've got the product fundraisers here today. If you guys went by my table, you've seen the pizza, the cookie dough, and the popcorn flyers. And there's a spot for them. You can make money with this stuff too. But if I were to pick one out for you, it would definitely be the Power Hour, okay? Let me just give you a few examples of Power Hours that I've done. And just so you understand, a lot of my business is in Western North Dakota and Western South Dakota, just because I lived in Bismarck for a long time. I just moved to West Fargo though, so Jeremy and I are kind of crossing with some territory lines and things like that. But all my stuff is gonna be based out west here. It doesn't matter how big or small you are, guys. I don't care. I don't care if you're from the Sioux Falls area. I don't care if you're from Dupree, South Dakota, who I've worked with before, okay? Or Millette, which is Northwestern High School, okay? I don't care how big or small you are, okay? And neither does Jeremy. Bismarck Avalanche volleyball, 8 kids. 8 kids did the Power Hour. $8,156 was raised by those 8 volleyball players. Century High School Science Olympiad. Again, I work with a lot of football, basketball programs, baseball, but I'm trying to point out some non-sport related ones for you here. $8,877. I just did it last spring for them. He needed money to go to the national conference. That, by the way, generated about $683 raised per participant in that thing. Okay. Century High School football. Again, I'm throwing this out because it's the big fish. It's a football program, one of the more successful programs in North Dakota. It was our record-setting Power Hour group that I've had, $55,942. And by the way, the work that the kids put into was in an hour time frame. That's why I call this a Power Hour. Your kids, the main bulk of the work is in 1 hour. That's it. There's no text, or there's no pounding pavement, there's no knocking on doors. That's a lot of work, and I recognize that. This is being efficient with our work, but raising a lot of money in the same token, okay? Dickinson High School cheer. 21 cheerleaders raised $20,397 doing the Power Hour, doing the exact same thing I'm gonna talk to you guys about today. Lisbon Band and Choir, taking a trip to Nashville, Tennessee, raised $9,155. Bismarck Public School Inclusive Sports, which is taken off here, $7,545. And last one, Minot Magic City Dance Company, $12,790. Okay, so again, I don't care how big you are, I don't care how small you are. We are willing to work with anybody and everybody as long as you guys are looking for some money. Okay, so again, Scoreboard Fundraising. That's kind of the Scoreboard is the app that we use. Jeremy calls itself Scoreboard Fundraising. Again, on Next Level Fundraising. What's all really the same. Here's a Power Hour fundraiser right here. What is this thing, right? Well, I already said it's a texting and calling platform, asking people for donations. Here's how it shakes out, guys. Jeremy and I were in Nashville about a year ago. We went to this thing called the ACHA hockey convention. It's a bunch of college hockey programs. It's not Division I UND stuff. It is University of Mary club hockey, stuff like that. I had a guy come up to me just kind of out of the blue and he goes, "Hey, what makes you different? What makes you different from some of these other people?" And he mentioned Snap. And I said, the biggest difference is the fact that my business partner and I come to you. We are not trying to do business over the internet. When we are doing a Power Hour, and if we can't make it for some reason, we will do it virtually with you. But we like to be on site. It makes a really big difference with the kids. I think it makes a really big difference with you guys as well. And that's why we're as successful as we are. A lot of people are behind a computer telling you guys, "Hey, all right, here's the thing. Here's what you got to do. Tell your kids to do this. Make sure you set this up, do this, that, and the other thing." When I run a Power Hour with you guys, basically I ask you to talk to your kids, like you would come up here for about 2 minutes and say, "Hey, this is Chad Lindeman, da 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 da. Here's my expectations for you guys. Here's what I expect you guys to do for the program." You talk for 2 minutes, and then you chill out on the side, and that's it, man. Really, that could be the only thing that you do in this fundraiser. I take care of everything else for you, okay? The only other thing you might need to do is when we do the live event, buy the kids the pizza. A lot of my programs, right before we do the live event, turn it into a bonding thing. So they buy pizzas, some drinks, they sit, they chill, they talk, they bond, and then we get into the Power Hour itself. Okay? All right, so this is kind of the flow chart with what this thing is about. First thing we do, now Jeremy does it for 15 minutes. I like to talk, so mine is closer to like 20, 25 minutes. We come on site, and we visit with your group, and we tell your group, "Hey, here's what to expect out of the Power Hour. This is what it's going to look like. This is what you need to do beforehand," which is get 30 names and numbers into the app. There is no cap, so you can put as many as you want in there, but we're looking for at least 30. Okay? We're there setting the tone. What I found is it sells the idea to the kids way more when I'm here talking to them. There's definitely more buying with kids when I get in front of them and talk to them about stuff. Okay? Usually there's a week in between this thing and then the live event. Again, Power Hour. It lasts for an hour. So I just want everybody to understand, if we start at 6 o'clock at night, if we start right at 6, we're going to stop right at 7 unless somebody's on the phone. I'll let them finish making their phone call. But if nobody's on the phone at 7 o'clock, I'm going to stop. We're going to talk about the metrics from the fundraiser. I have a live feed that is going to be on a projector during the live event so they can all see who's donating, how much money you care, who's named, things like that. Okay? At that point, we talk about metrics. It takes me about 5 minutes. And at 7:05, if we were running the event here, when they leave that door back there, their responsibility to the fundraiser is over. There's nothing else the kids have to do. It's done. You won't find a quicker fundraiser. You won't find a more efficient fundraiser. You just won't. But the fundraiser is not over, technically. Okay? We're going to keep everybody's donation links open for 10 business days. Jeremy's got 10 to 12 because I think he stretches it out a little bit. I put mine at 10 because if somebody isn't willing to place a donation in 10 days, they're not going to place it, I don't think, in 11 or 12 days. Okay? So everybody's links will stay open for that long. Typically, looking at trends and tendencies in the Power Hour, a lot of times about 40% of the money raised happens in that hour. The next 60% comes in the next 10 days. Is typically how it shakes out. Okay. Here's a cool thing. We're going to let the app go to work for the kids. Okay. So after the fundraiser is over, the Power Hour is done. A week later, if somebody has not donated to that particular student, they'll get a reminder text message sent to them from our app. Just saying, "Hey, don't forget about us. Our fundraiser is still going on. We're in the middle of it. Check us out." Something along those lines. If they still haven't placed a donation after day number 9, they'll get one more reminder text message. It'll be more urgent. They'll say, hey, we're the last day of our fundraiser. Don't forget about us. Those 2 reminders, I have looked at trends and tendencies of that as well. There have been cases where 30% of the total raise came specifically because of those reminders. It is a really, really big deal. Okay, but the app goes to work for the kids. They don't need to send them out. When I first started, the platform I was using, the kids had to send out the reminder text message. Guess how many reminder text messages went out when the kids had to do it on their own? Maybe. You might be right. 1, maybe. Not very many, right? Not very many. But the app goes to work for them. This down here, this is more, when you see the Gatorade, the snacks, the gift card prizes, that's Jeremy. So Jeremy likes to throw that stuff out during the event. We try to make this fun and engaging for the kids. So when they reach certain levels, he'll throw Gatorade, candy bars, some gift cards, stuff like that. I'm more the cash guy. And what I've just found out working with my groups is, with the kids, that cash is king, right? Besides doing this job, another job I have, if you guys are familiar with Riddell. In the football world, I'm the Riddell sales manager for North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. So all the football equipment that you see out there that the kids are wearing, a lot of it is Riddell. I'm the guy behind that. But I used to talk to the football teams like, hey guys, I can get you mini helmets. It looks just like your regular helmet. We'll decal it up. It'll look good. Would you guys want to do that, or you guys want cash? Every single time, we want cash. Okay, well, that's easy. So I send out cash prizes. The way that I do it, if you work with Jeremy, you'll get that stuff. With me, it's going to be strictly cash, and I do it twice. Once is at the live event. Here's how I do it. It's based on the number of donations that a kid secures. If a kid secures 5 donations in that hour, I give them $10 cash before they leave. They get 10 donations, I give them $20 cash. 15 donations, $40 cash. 20 donations, $60 cash. 25 donations or more, $100 cash. That's only happened once. Well, that South Dakota football player, he did it. He got to 25 donations before the hour was up. Gave him $100 cash before he left. I always tell the kids, try to get to 15. You get to 15, I'm giving you $40 cash before you leave. It's a pretty good hour's worth of work. You're almost like a doctor. $40 an hour, it's pretty good. But that's what I do. The second one, that's my first incentive. The second one is for the duration. We do this for 10 days. Okay, so 10-day window. At the end of it, when a kid, depending on where you're at, if you're in Sioux Falls, some bigger cities like that, the minimum is 15 donations. If you're in a smaller community like Dupree, Millette, whatever, places like that, then I set it at 12. But let's say you're in a bigger town, 15. If you have secured 15 donations as a student for the duration of the fundraiser, you are automatically going to get a cash incentive from me for $20. Nothing less than $20. However, I'm going to rank everybody. And whoever secured the most donations, not dollar-wise, but number of donations, they get $100 cash from me. Second place is $75, and then depending on how many kids you have in your program, third, fourth, fifth could be $50. If it's a really large program, I'll go third through 8th maybe, or third through 10th. Then I bring it down to 35 and 20. Okay? Again, trying to incentivize the kids to do a really, really good job with this thing. Okay? What's your cut? Obviously, that's super important, right? You will not make anything less than 80%. Okay? Nothing less than 80% to the program. However, we tier everything, you can make up to 85%. Now, if you're a smaller program, not a whole lot of kids, it'll probably be tough to get to the other tiers. If you have a larger group, you might have an easier shot at it. To get to the second tier is 82.5%. To get to 82.5%, you got to get to 30K a raise. 85% is 35K a raise. So more than not, we're probably all going to be 80%, okay, in here. But the cool thing about it is once the fundraiser closes in about a week or two, the money hits my business account. When it hits my business account, I cut a check, mail it to you, bingo, you're done. You'll get one check for the program. The second check will be for that second cash incentive I talked to you guys about. I write up a letter. I tell you, hey, here's the kids that earn cash prizes. Here's how much each kid earns. By the way, when you go to the bank, get these denominations so when you hand out the money, it all works out in the end. Okay? I try to keep this thing as easy as possible for you guys. Okay? That is the power of it. Anybody have any questions about that? By the way, there is no fee up front. That's sometimes the question I get is like, well, okay, you working with us, like, what's your cost? There is no cost, right? There is no cost. You are gonna be making whatever you make from the fundraiser, okay? Nothing less than 80. Okay, moving on. Now, I talked about the consumable products, right? Which is important. And I probably sounded like I was poo-pooing it right away. You know, and I'm not. Basically, I'm saying if you compare it to the power hour, you gotta go power hour all the time, I feel like. Unless you're like, I don't know, feel like our community is maybe more product-based, which there are those communities out there. And if you are one of those, there's your shot right there. Those are the 4 different things that we offer. Pizza, cookie dough, beef jerky, popcorn coffee comes from the exact same company, okay? By the way, so I don't forget, if you guys want any of these flyers, I got plenty of flyers with me today over at my table. Also, I'm gonna be here till 4:30 today, till the very end. If you guys wanna pull me aside and talk to me about some stuff, I'll be more than happy to sit around and talk with you. Or we can go to the social together and I can visit with you there. Pizza, where's the pizza come from? North Dakota. And it is really good pizza. It's a company that used to be called Grubber Stuffs. They just changed their name. Have you guys heard of Pugsley's? Pugsley's sandwiches. Anybody familiar with that at all down in South Dakota? Not sure. Okay, maybe more North Dakota thing. But it's the same company, same ingredients. They've called themselves Pugsley because Pugsley's is pretty well known in North Dakota. Anyways, great pizza. Just had a conversation with one of the co-owners. I was concerned about the delivery to South Dakota. They are in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. I don't know if you guys know where Devil's Lake is at, but you're getting up by the Canadian border and you're west of Grand Forks, okay? I'm like, yo, I don't know if these guys are gonna wanna travel or how far they wanna travel. Good news, they already traveled to South Dakota because they service a lot of bars, bars, grocery stores, things like that. The guy I talked to said, man, we are willing to travel anywhere in South Dakota. So we will make it happen, okay? We will get it to you. Here's the cool thing. The pizza always does better than the other ones because of its price point. Cookie dough, $25 a box. Popcorn, $25 a bag. Coffee, I think, is also $25 for that. I haven't done a coffee one. Beef jerky, currently at $28. We need to visit with our beef jerky provider. Might be going up to $30 because of the cost of beef. Okay, we'll try to keep it as low as we can, but might jump up to $30. Okay, you can see why pizza probably sells pretty well, right? Here's the other thing too. All the people that do a pizza fundraiser, typically when I look at trends and tendencies, on average, a family or a sale, there's 3 pizzas that are being sold to each family or on each sale, right? Your guys' cut from a pizza is $4. Okay, so if on average you get a family or a sale where they're buying 3 pizzas, that's $12 going into your pocket. Okay, that is roughly, all these product fundraisers, you're getting back about 30 to 40%, and that's pretty much market average. Again, now when you compare that to the power hour, you can see why I'm pushing you to the power hour, because the power hour you're getting nothing less than 80. That family, again, I feel like I'm poo-pooing product, but that family that might be buying, let's talk about cookie dough. Cookie dough sells for $25. You get, I believe it's 36, what I call hockey pucks of cookie dough in a box. That family that buys one box of cookie dough for $25, by the way, back to you, is either gonna be $9 or $10, depending on how many total boxes of cookie dough you sell. Well, let's say it's $10. $10 out of 25 is 40%, okay? That family that bought one box of cookie dough from you for $25, on average, will give $50 in a power hour donation. Well, if they're giving $50 in a power hour donation, what are you getting back? $40, right? Because that's 80%. So look at your difference. $40 from that family for $10. Big difference. Again, this stuff has its place, but again, that's why I led it for power hour. Why I think it's more powerful and more effective in raising money for you guys, okay? But pizza, yes, we can get it delivered for $4 for every pizza back to you. Cookie dough comes out of Michigan. Simply Goodness is the brand. Simply Goodness is the poor man's version of Mrs. Fields, if you guys are familiar with that, okay? So, it's really good cookie dough, really good stuff. $25 per box, there's 5 different flavors. Pizza, by the way, 8 different flavors of pizza to choose from. Beef jerky comes out of Iowa, a company called Iowa Smokehouse. I think it is the best beef jerky out there, bar none. Better than the Jack Link stuff and whatever else. Iowa Smokehouse, really, really good stuff. And the last one's popcorn coffee coming out of Minnesota, a company called Voyager, which if you ever go to a Shields, I know the Shields up in North Dakota, they're actually stocking the Voyager popcorn now, and it is unbelievably good. Really, really good stuff. Here's the other cool thing, guys. Product, we can use the app that we use for the Power Hour to help you sell this stuff. So we can put pizza, cookie dough, beef jerky, popcorn, we can put it on an app so the kids can use the app to sell the stuff as well. Beef jerky, popcorn, coffee can be a ship to home product. If you went that direction, if you're like, we don't want to touch it, we don't want to see it, we just want our customers to get it shipped directly to them, we can set it up that way. Now, to be honest, there is a cost to do that. So I do know that, like if somebody did that and bought 1 bag of beef jerky, I think they gotta pay like $12 in shipping. Okay, and it ends up capping out at $25 eventually with the number of bags that they get. But if that's something you wanna do, we can do that, so you guys never see it. Otherwise, they're like, hey, just send it to us and then our kids will just deliver it. Great. Might go without saying pizza cookie dough is frozen, the other stuff is not. Obviously, time is of the essence with pizza and cookie dough, right? Cold weather months, great. Got to be really careful about the warmer months. Beef jerky, popcorn, you can get it drop shipped, and if you don't have time to get it delivered, that's fine. You can sit in the school or wherever, and it's not going to hurt anything. Okay? Well, we got some options there too. Okay, this I'm not going to go too deep into it, but just so you're aware, if you want to run an event by using the product fundraiser, you can do that. Jeremy does it a lot. I'll be quite honest, I don't. If you want it done that way, I can do it for you. But usually what I do, if you're gonna run a pizza fundraiser, I will either come to the school, drop off all the fundraising packets, or I will mail all the fundraising packets to you. I stuff them, get them all ready for you, right? And then I say, high five, go get it, right? And then we figure out a time when all the order forms and money should be turned in. And when that happens, I drive to you. I will drive to you, I'll pick up all the money. If there's any discrepancies, I take care of that for you. I contact the people, everything like that. I place the order with the vendors. I take care of all that stuff. When it comes to distribution, a little bit different, right? Because it's South Dakota, both Jeremy and I are based in West Fargo, but I'm telling you this. We decided if you have an order, and I don't care if it's pizza or cookie dough, the beef jerky, the cool thing about that is I believe they will student pack, meaning that if they drop ship it to you, you don't need to sort it. It's already sorted for you by student. The popcorns, I know that is definitely done that way. So same thing, you get all this popcorn, you're like, holy cow, I got 10 boxes of popcorn. It's student packed. You're like, Johnny, there you go. Susie, there you go. You don't have to sort it, right? But pizza and cookie, a lot of times that gets dropped off. I will come to you. Jeremy will come to you. We will help hand the stuff out and distribute it to your customers as they show up. We'll do that for you. That's not a big deal. Okay? Again, we're there for service. But again, if you want to have an event, run an event with your kids, you can certainly do that. Okay? I should talk about that too right here. There's cash incentives that we offer to the students as well. And that, again, for me, is cash-based. I'll tell you, again, Jeremy and I differ a little bit. My secret number for pizzas, he's got 50, okay? I don't shoot aside, mine's 30. When a family sells 30 pizzas, I give them $1 for every pizza that they sold. I just got done with a pizza fundraiser in Mandan. I had a family sell, was it 93 pizzas or something like that? So I gave them an envelope full of cash, $93. Right? Pretty cool. So that's what I do. Cash just came with me. Otherwise, like the cookie dough stuff, I think I bring mine down to like 25 units or something like that. I think that's what Jeremy has on here. Yeah, so anyways, we just try to do something to keep it fun and engaging and keep the kids locked in and incentivized. Here's some examples. These examples are Jeremy's territory, okay? So Central Valley, just south of Grand Forks, small community, farming community, okay? Future Business Leaders of America, they did pizza donations. Here's something else that's cool. If you do a product and we put it on the app, we can set it up so people, if they don't want to buy pizza, they can place a donation in care of your program. And then you get the donation piece of it, 80% of the donation. 16 kids, so 383 pizzas. There's 37 monetary donations made. You can see the group profit. That's not what was raised. That group made over $3,200. Average profit per kid was $200. Rise Up Basketball. I'm not sure where that's at. It's being far away. They did beef jerky and donations. 10 kids, 10 basketball players. Sold 205 bags of beef jerky, 38 cash donations. They profited almost $3,300. Average profit per kid, $330. Hankinson. It is a little bit closer to the South Dakota border. But Hankinson softball did pizza donations. 24 softball players sold over 1,000 pizzas. 40 cash donations. They made $6,300 as a group. Average profit about $262. And then this one is high level. But West Fargo 12U baseball. I know what this is. This is a group that qualified for the National Babe Ruth tournament, and they needed some buco bucks to get to where they're going. So 12-year-olds did this. It was a power hour, not a product. 284 donations. They not raised, they profited $20,630. Certainly helped them get to, I suppose, Texas, where they're going. This is bonkers. This is not typically where it's at. Average profit per kid, $1,700, but it was a different thing, right? I'll tell you, with me, when I do it, my average profit per kid, or average raise per kid in a power hour with me is $600. Doesn't mean every kid raises $600, right? Because here's what happens. I don't care where you're at. You're gonna have a group of kids that just goes bonkers with this. It does really, really well. You're gonna have a bunch of kids that do the average, and you will have kids that don't do anything. That's just how it shakes out. We get it. But still, my average usually in a power hour is $600. So that is the end of it. Let's see if I missed anything. I did not. Does anybody have any questions about anything? What do we got for 1:14, 1 minute left? No questions?
How early in the school year can you do fundraising?
Anytime. I do summer fundraisers too. I just closed a pizza fundraiser in Mandan with a soccer club there. They sold about 1,600 pizzas. The pizza company, the cool thing about them is they're not just gonna drop the pallet and then leave. They stay there. We usually have a distribution window. So like in Mandan, we said, hey, everybody, we're gonna get the soccer fields from 5:30 to 7:30. And they come, when they come, I bring all the pizzas to their car, blah, blah, that kind of thing. But we will do this 12 months, it doesn't matter when. It's whatever works best for you guys. Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
so like the power hour thing are the kids just like calling different companies, or is it just like?
It's basically calling like friends, family, really anybody, right? So a lot of times the first people on the list are the immediate family, mom, dad, brother, sister, things like that. But then usually they need the help of mom and dad. My son, related to this, again, we lived in Bismarck at the time, but when he was 15, his baseball team qualified for the National Babe Ruth tournament in Eagle Pass, Texas. And they did this right here. So my son sat down and he had about 9 names, I think, that he was able to put together, right? And then he came to my wife and I, and we got into 35. And typically that's what's gonna happen. Is your kids need to rely on mom and dad to help with some things. What I've come to find out in my territory, Williston, Dickinson, Minot. Let's call that the oil field triangle. those kids that do this power hour that have the oil field connections, good lord. I saw a $2,000 donation from an oil field company last year up in Williston. I've seen a lot of 750s, 500s. Yeah, they can call, they can contact companies, they can contact anybody they want to. Here's another thing I wanna mention that I think is really important if you haven't thought about this. There's some knucklehead companies out there that will take people's information and they'll sell it to companies, right? That's why you get some of those junky emails all the time, and you get these spam calls and all sorts of garbage. This app does not do that, okay? So the financial platform that Scoreboard uses is called Stripe. And if you're not familiar with Stripe, Stripe is the financial platform for a website called Amazon.com. It is totally secure. Nothing weird happens on the backside. And I think that is super important to let parents know, right? Because they wonder sometimes, like, what do you do with their info? I got my butt chewed by a guy, I think it was in Dickinson, because he thought I was just trying to scam them when you get their information and then sell it off. But it's not what we do. Not what we do at all. So, just want to make sure that was known. Any other questions? Good questions so far. Anybody else? Cool. I'm gonna stop there, give you guys some time before your next 1:30 meeting, but seriously, I'm gonna be out there. I'm sticking around until the very end, man. So if you want to sit down with me and visit, I'll be more than happy to do that.